Joe, Colorado and Kansas take on each other this week. Kansas coming off and beating and upsetting undefeated BYU. Colorado coming off a pretty impressive win against Utah. How do you see this one going?
I think a lot of people after this game are going to try to completely dismiss it and say that, oh, you beat a sub 500 Kansas team to Colorado. I don't think that's the case. I think that this would be a very impressive victory for Colorado because Kansas, their defense has been brutal, and we're going to unpack that for a second here. They have been one of the most efficient rushing attacks in the country. Yes. They have been super productive. Devin Neal has been one of the most under-talked about running backs of the country with 926 yards and 12 touchdowns this year. I bring up and hype up Kansas to say that when you win this football game, Colorado, it will be a strong addition to your resume. And we saw that last week.
Stop.
Wait, no. Blake, this Kansas team has been in a bunch of one-score games. They're number 8 in EPA per rush. Okay, so you're quite literally doing what I just said was going to happen. That's on you if you want to go down that route. This is a better Kansas. I'm just trying to say here that this is a better Kansas team than people give them credit for, and it has been dismissed as a quality win on most people's schedules. I'm not saying that you put this on the resume and it gets you into the freaking playoff. That's not what I'm saying. But this is a tough matchup going up against a team that runs the ball really freaking well. And if you play well against that rushing attack, I think that furthers the conversation that this defensive line for Colorado has improved on a week-to-week basis.
I think that that's where Kansas can upset them if there is an avenue.
Well, that's my point.
Colorado is 57th in the country in run defense, where you have a team in Kansas that's 23rd in running the football. They do a lot of different things. They'll get you out in space and make your safety tackle in open space. Shallow's got to have a big game here. He's got to be able to be out in space and make plays. To be honest with you, defensively, this is not a game where you're going to see Travis Hunter hardly at all. You're going to have to play tough, physical football. Colorado fans have been mad at me for me saying that, hey, man, you've been leaky in your run defense. You have been leaky in your run defense. You're 57th in the country, and you're facing a Big 12 schedule. This is a team that can run the football, and it's what they want to do. So I don't want to hear that they can't run the football. It's what they're going to try to do. Can you see what they're going to do and stop? It's going to be the ultimate question here. But, Joe, I see an avenue here where Colorado could be in trouble. And let me tell you why. If they don't try to establish their own damn running game in one of these games, it's going to come back and bite them. They're 132nd in the country in run offense. And, Joe, what do we see every single week? Every single week, we see a team either get upset by somebody that they're not supposed to, or a game is much closer than it needs to be. And what does every single one of those teams do? I ask you, what do every one of those single teams do?
They run the ball.
They run the ball and they play keep away. You know who wants to do this and has been doing it, and why Kansas has been winning football games? What do?
They run the football.
And they play time of possession. So I say all that to say this. Colorado is 60th in the country in third down conversions. It is massive this week. Massive. More than any other week for you to convert and be very stellar on third downs. Joe, you cannot let Kansas play their game. If you're converting third downs early, you're going to out-athlete them on the outside, and then your depth is going to take over. You cannot allow Kansas to play their game. And that would be what my worry for here would be is, Joe, you got a physical team that wants to run the football versus a high-flying passing offense. Again, I can name 5 teams this year that have gone down by teams they have no business going down to, who are more high-flying, wanting to throw the football, and they play into the style of the team that they're losing to. So it's not as if that Colorado is anemic to that. They're not. If Colorado fans that are in the comment section, I know they'll be here. If you want me to name them, I will name those games for you if you would like for me to, because I have them right here. But, Joe, I'm just telling you, you better be able to convert on these critical third downs and stay on the field, because if you let this coaching staff for Kansas play their game, it's going to be closer than what you're expecting.
I do disagree with most of what you just said.
Of course you do.
Partly.
With that Giants hat on.
Partly there's an LSU player on this Giants team, so you should speak with
with a shitty quarterback.
This situation with Colorado running the football applies later down the line. It does not apply in this game. Kansas's defense
same thing about Miami too.
Okay, but Georgia Tech's defense tackled. Georgia Tech's defense was a lot better than this Kansas defense. Fair. Kansas's defense is abysmal. It's piss poor. They're allowing 150.7 rush yards per game, 229 pass yards per game.
Yeah,
they have two very underrated corners in Kobe Bryant and Mello Dotson, who have 4 and 5 interceptions apiece. Outside of those two football players, they're not getting after the quarterback. They're not producing stops. Kansas was the perfect bad matchup for BYU last week because both teams relied on running the football, and the team that was more effectively executing won. I think that Kansas is going to be able to score points here, and that they're going to be able to run the football like you're mentioning because that's all they do very well. But I don't trust that Jalen Daniels is going to convert in third down situations because he has taken a step backward. He has taken a step backward in his completion percentage and the amount of interceptions that he's throwing. But he's also, I get what you're saying, that they're converting on third downs. But in third and long situations, going up against a secondary like this that has been super productive, I trust DJ McKinney. I trust Travis Hunter to force those turnovers. I get what you're trying to bring up here. I do understand, and I think the Colorado fans at times can be a little bit overly dismissive in the rushing attack, that they're not converting and they're not producing success running the football enough that they need to win tighter matchups against more difficult opponents. But I don't think that applies here. I think that Kansas is a game that they should handedly win, and that when they win it, it should be acknowledged as a quality win because of what we just saw Kansas do to BYU.
They're 7th in the country in third down offense, so I vehemently disagree with you there. Now, if they do get in third and longs, I will admit, Daniels, it's not as strong. It's not a strong suit. Joe, what happened in that Texas Tech game against Colorado? What happened?
They blew past them for the first 3 quarters, and Texas Tech tried to climb back into it.
Well, it was a 7-point game. It was a 7-point game with a minute left to go. Go look it up right now for yourself if you'd like. Please. Go look it up for yourself right now. It was a 7-point game with 1 minute left to go. What happened was Taj Brooks went off. Neal and Daniels can run the football in this game. 1,000% they can run the ball in this game. If you think that this is just some anomaly here, then you're wrong. Colorado fans will listen. Real Colorado fans, true Colorado fans, will hear me and say, you know what, he's probably right. The bandwagon Colorado fans are such homers that they will say, there's no way that this is going to happen. Okay, well, the reason that it happened when you were down 7 or up 7, with a minute left to go against Texas Tech, the way that happened was that Taj Brooks ran for 131 yards on your ass.
Well, okay. But I think you're misrepresenting this. So there was 2 minutes to go, and Jalen Connors had a 21-yard touchdown reception that brought it within 7, and then Shiloh Sanders had a fumble return touchdown that closed out the game.
How many time was left on the clock, Joe? Look at it right there.
There was a minute left on the clock. But what I'm saying that, and we talked about this, Taj Brooks' success in the fourth quarter and why he finished with as many yards as he did was because Colorado's expectation was, oh, this team's down by a touchdown. They're going to throw the ball. When I watched that film, there were a lot of 4-man boxes that they were going up against. Of course, they had success running the football. Nobody expects a team that's down by that much to run the ball to get back into the game. It doesn't happen. Joe, they didn't get run over. They were going. Anybody can produce against a 4-man box. What do you mean stop? I watched the film. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go watch that entire fourth quarter as soon as we get off of this. And if I find 4-man box, if 5-man box is the most of the fourth quarter.
I guarantee you it didn't happen. I guarantee
it did. I remember. Okay, wait, hold on for a second. That's crazy. I literally just said to you, I watched it and I know what I saw. And you're saying I have to go back and rewatch it to prove you wrong?
That's how I knew there was a minute left of game and you're down 7.
That whole fourth quarter.
Hold on. What did Kansas do last week? They came 5 wide, motion Neal back in, and would run an option with him. There's gonna be moments where there's 5-man boxes, because if you don't go out and guard somebody, you're gonna have issues.
I understand that.
I understand. Regardless of what happened in the Tech game, I've seen teams run the ball on you. This is the ultimate test of run defense.
That was my whole point, minus us arguing over it. That was my whole point coming into the segment was, if you play well against this Kansas team and you win confidently, it is a testament to the quality of your run defense. And if you can slow down Devin Neal and Jalen Daniels enough in certain situations to win the game.
Y'all better not play with Kansas. That's all I'm going to tell you. You got so much disrespect for the Kansas coaching staff, who loves us, by the way, cherishes us.
Well, their defense isn't very good. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions, with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.